2 weeks out from the Territory election, all players are now keenly focused on campaigning for every vote in every seat. Before Territory Alliance entered the race, the Country Liberals could have been confident of using Katherine as a linchpin for their planned comeback. Many voters and business owners in the electorate are critical of the Labor government's management of the economy, debt and crime. But in Katherine, like many other areas of the NT, COVID-19 and Territory Alliance's anti-fracking stance appear to be splitting the vote along unusual fault lines.
With coronavirus travel bans keeping tourists away, a visiting Darwin school group are very welcome at Helen Collins Katherine Outback Show Business, as is the Labor government's COVID-19 business stimulus support she's received. She thinks in Katherine and across the Territory, Labor's management of the crisis has boosted its chances of holding on to power.
The Gunner government has done very well throughout COVID.
But she hasn't seen anything from Labor or other parties that addresses her concerns about reviving the economy after COVID.
There hasn't been a standout policy, in my view.
A former HR consultant and electorate officer, Kate Ganley, is hoping to keep the seat for the government. Labor has held the long-time CLP stronghold for just one term, on a slim 1.6% margin.
I think the Gunner Labor government is going to get back in, and I would love to be the Katherine representative.
Kate Ganley's been working to convince community groups Labor is tackling crime with youth re-engagement programmes. But she says she's felt Labor's popularity bounce from its COVID crisis management.
With the coronavirus, we just need something ongoing, not something to sort of be broken and start again.
For many voters, the closure of shops like this menswear and sports store on Katherine's Main Street typify the struggling economy that Labor hasn't been able to turn around while in government. Julie Newton has kept her saddlery and workwear shop going by expanding online. She's critical of Labor's economic management and ballooning government debt.
For me as a business person who also manages the finances, I think it's pretty dreadful.
Trucking business owner Jocelyn thinks Labor hasn't done enough to improve remote roads and has neglected the regions in favour of Darwin-based projects.
We just look at the money that's been spent on Garamilla Boulevard. How many millions did that cost for a waste of a piece of road?
She feels Labor hasn't dealt adequately with crime.
Early in the year we had about 6 break-ins in a row in a month, and not one of those people that broke in has had a penalty applied.
Some Indigenous leaders feel they've been excluded from conversations about how to reduce offending.
There are people who are traditional owners of country that are not being included, that are not being consulted, and they should be.
How are you going?
CLP candidate and hairdresser Jo Hersey is confident crime, debt and economy concerns will return the seat to her party. She thinks the CLP has shed the cronyism and infighting image which lost it the last election, and every seat but 2.
We have fresh grassroots people coming into the election in August, and I don't think we need to be focusing on the past.
In Katherine, just like in other areas of the NT, the entry of Territory Alliance into the contest has prompted some voters to question old allegiances in an election that could disrupt the historic pendulum swings between Labor and the CLP.
I would like to see Melanie Usher because she's going to ban fracking.
Territory Alliance's anti-fracking policy helped recruit Melanie Usher as its candidate from her former CLP electorate officer job.
I've been really amazed at the number of Katherine people who are anti-fracking behind closed doors.
The town's mayor and former CLP deputy leader thinks the three-cornered contest could hand Katherine to Labor.
I'm very disappointed that the Conservative vote is split.
She thinks prospects of a CLP and Territory Alliance coalition has just muddied their policy positions for voters.
Labor have stuck together. They've stuck together through thick and thin, and the Conservatives are still managed to haggle.
In uncertain times, voters are still looking for clear commitments from all sides.
I think there's a lot of swinging voters out there, so everyone's got a lot of hard work to get the votes that haven't committed anywhere yet.
Jane Bardon, ABC News, Katherine.